Hello, I am Mario 8th and welcome to Super Mario Bros. In Review, the show where I will be reviewing all 18 Super Mario Bros. Platformers and ranking them to find the ultimate Super Mario Bros. Game. You can find all the previous and future videos in the playlist linked in the description, but first, this week we will be visiting Super Mario 64! The game was released in June 1996 in Japan, September that same year in the States, and March the next in Europe. And apparently in 2003 for the IQ player in China. With Shigeru Miyamoto once again at the helm, this marked Mario's first leap into 3D. And for Nintendo's first foray, it was a solid attempt. So actually the game did very well. It was the killer app for the N64, was highly praised by pretty much everyone, and still heralded today as the greatest Mario game ever by people who are wrong and blinded by nostalgia. Of course I hold my own biases. The first time I played Mario 64 was the DS port, which, IMO, did a lot to make the game better, even if I had to use the D-pad to move. But this video isn't about 64DS, it's about Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. And Mario 64 made a lot of firsts for the series. It was the first main launch title for the N64, the first truly 3D Mario game, the first mainline game with Charles Martinet as Mario's voice, and most importantly, the first time Princess Peach was called Peach outside of Japan. Eagle-eared listeners might have noticed that in every US released Mario game before, I only referred to as Toadstool. But with 64, Nintendo of Japan and America finally unified her name as Princess Toadstool Peach. Speaking of Peach, Mario 64 opens with a letter penned by her, inviting Mario over to the castle for some cake. Unfortunately, by the time Mario gets there, Bowser has taken control. Also, he's Bowser now, not King Koopa. He's stolen the Power Stars, trapped Peach and the Toads in the walls, and it's up to Mario to defeat his minions and take the stars back. To find the stars, he needs to explore various paintings hung around the castle, as they take him to various different worlds. With enough stars, he's able to overpower Bowser's enchantments, taking him further into the castle, and after beating the Big Koopa 3 separate times, Peach and the Toads are rescued. Peach lands a big smooch on Mario's big ol' nose, and they go bake a cake. And I'll admit, Super Mario 64 is a very good game, especially in the sense that there aren't any bad Mario platformers. And for the first time that Nintendo ever made a 3D platformer, there are things I even consider perfect. But looking at the whole package, I just don't think it's as good as people remember it being. First, I want to discuss things I find perfect. To start, Koji Kondo, you did it again. My lord, every song is amazing, timeless, perfect. Bob-omb Battlefield, great. Slider, amazing. Koopa's Road, one of the hypest songs ever composed. Bowser's final theme, you know what's going down. And of course, Dire Dire Docks, one of the most beautiful themes in any Mario game. I especially love how different instruments come in at various points in the level. It's a magical experience first diving in the water and having the violins begin to accompany Mario's journey. There's no surprise that so many of these themes have been reorchestrated for later games, because even with the limited sounds the N64 could put out, each track is timeless. While the soundtrack is a very important part of any game, it's really not as important as the actual gameplay. Miyamoto, the lead designer Makoto Mayanaga, and the rest of the development team did an amazing job with designing this game. From the very beginning, when Mario jumps out from that pipe, through every course, up to the final trek to Bowser, it is all top tier. The opening courtyard of Peach's castle is a great example. Opening with a walkway towards the castle doors, the player is drawn to the first waypoint but is given the choice to follow the path or jump over the small hill, giving the earliest practice of Mario's movesets. And if the player doesn't follow or comes back to the area later, there's water to practice swimming and a couple different secrets inviting the player to explore everything. The castle halls give the same sense of exploration. Mario would never know which painting might whisk him to a brand new world. Oh weird, there wasn't this light from the ceiling before. Why is this wall all wiggly? Once in an actual level is where the fun begins. Despite the low polygon count, despite the limited textures, despite the mostly barren landscapes, each level is so fun to explore. I want to climb to meet this King Bob-omb. I want to go into this warm cabin in the snow. I want to climb up this same mountain for the dozenth time to catch this stupid monkey. Okay, everything but Tall Tall Mountain is great. Given just the slightest hint of the star name, it's always an adventure jumping around to find where the next star leads. And even coming in with near perfect knowledge of each level, it is still really fun to exist in this world. Even the ways that the levels evolve over time is so monumental, like how in Bob-omb Battlefield initially the bombs are fighting, but after the defeat of their king the land is now in peace, or how our tower sprouts after defeating the Womb King. These things make the world come alive. It's especially cool how in Dire Dire Docks, after chasing out the eel, entering the sunken ship and draining it of its water, the next level has the eel in the lake proper and the ship is now on the surface. These small design decisions, how earlier stars affect later ones, combined with the sheer creativity of the mission design, make all the levels so fun. And don't get me started on the Bowser levels. Originally holdovers from when Mario 64 was going to be more linear, each one perfectly matches the skill level the player should be at that point, and really makes the climb to Bowser feel epic. Then the battle happens and it's just fine. Mario needs to run to Bowser's tail, grab it, swing him around, and so long, Bowser, him into a floating mine that's just there for some reason. It makes good utilization for this new 3D area, but it's just not really all that fun. None of the bosses in 64 are that great, really. King Bob-omb has the same mechanic, just without spinning in the mines. The cool hands, while excellently designed, just need to be hit a bit. Every boss has good dialogue and many look cool, but the actual mechanics of the boss battles don't do much for me. And now we're finally here, talking about the mechanics. Oh boy, just hear me out first, okay? Clearly Nintendo had something going on. Idealistically, Mario's moveset is great, especially with the future sight looking at later games. Mario never stops running, long jumping, wall jumping, triple jumping. His hit is often replaced with another attack, but the dive has stayed strong throughout. But the problem with this moveset in Mario 64 is that none of it feels good. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I mean, a lot. And I think I've decided the most important part of any game, especially platformers, is the game feel and physics. How does it feel to move, to jump? How fast does the character fall? How long does it take to start moving? How much control do I have in the air? How much control do I have when Mario turns, when he stops? Mario 64 got a lot good. A truly good start. But then there are baffling decisions that annoy me to no end. And a lot of this is very nitpicky, but these nitpicks add up and over the course of the full game start becoming unbearable. I don't like how long it takes for Mario to start running. I don't like how Mario needs to walk in a meter-wide circle to turn around. I despise how walking or jumping onto a wall the wrong way has Mario bouncing back. I don't like how Mario can't triple jump onto a ledge. I don't like how the window for a wall jump is 2 frames long. Even though swimming and flying don't feel great, I'll give them a pass. Later games weren't able to improve them anyway. I just don't like controlling Mario in Super Mario 64. And of course the biggest offender of this is the camera. I largely get what they were going for. The camera often zooms out to give a cool angle of the action. It's just that it's at an 85-degree angle and rotating, and I'm trying to move Mario along a thin board. I couldn't count the amount of times I tried positioning the camera behind Mario, and the game just would not let me. And while it didn't happen too often, I did die because of this. The rest of my complaints mainly fall into the old game is old category. There's not many polygons, the draw distance is painfully short, the enemy sprites don't look great, Mario and Bowser's designs are all really chunky. Okay, actually the chunk is good. While Mario 64 DS did fix a lot of this, and the reused areas in Galaxy 2 or Odyssey do a swell job of showing this world in HD, I don't actually hold any of this against Mario 64. They don't affect the gameplay too much, and a lot of the low-quality graphics are endearing. Look, there is a lot to love about Mario 64. The levels are fun, every star is creative, the 100 coin stars are a fun challenge, the secret stars and the castles are fun to seek down, except the second time Mario catches that stupid rabbit. The hub world is fun to explore, and the music is A+, but none of it is as fun as it should be. If Mario controlled even a little bit better, just a bit more like Sunshine or Odyssey, it would be so good. Plus, a lot of the content from 64DS is really good, and the version bundled in Super Mario 3D All-Stars should have included it. In the end, The game is not bad, it's just not perfect. Being the first 3D Mario game, it lands at the number 1 spot for now. This is the first Mario game to feature penguins, so that's worth quite a bit in my book too. Anyways, as I rank more, keep in mind my complaints. Now I think it's about time we all take a vacation. Soak up some sun, get wrongfully sentenced for a crime that occurred while we were out of the country. It's time to play Super Mario Sunshine. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe leave a rating or a sub to be notified of more. While you're down there, you can check the description for all of my socials where I'm at Mario8th everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, and you can see what games I'm playing on ggApp.io. Also in the description is the playlist that every Mario in Review video will eventually be in. And if you'd like, let me know what your personal Mario ranking is in the comment section. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.